In the world of professional golf, there exists an elite club. A club filled with legends, household names, and rising stars. A club where membership is earned yearly with time, sweat, and dedication. This week, 50 players will gain entry into this exclusive fellowship. The top 25 from the regular season have already secured their spots, and another 25 spots are up for grabs here this week. Some dreams will be realized. Others will have to wait another day. Who will be next to join the likes of Jason Duffner, Grant Snedeker, and Keegan Bradley as the next great Web.com Tour graduate? EA Sports and the Web.com Tour proudly present opening round coverage of the Web.com Tour Championship. This is the fourth and final stop of the Web.com Tour Finals. Pressure-packed environment. 50 PGA Tour cards are up for grabs. Frank, this is a great day for golf, and the conditions here at Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida, look to be really good.
Rich, scoring conditions are absolutely optimal today. Expect to see a lot of low numbers.
And now we go down to the first hole. Stepping up to the first tee, Frank, what are some keys to be thinking about at this point?
Really got to pick a decent target. Really focus in on that. Don't really worry about left and right. Nice, good full swing. Slow, if anything, off the first tee.
Into the tall cabbage. That ball is swallowed up. Second shot from the rough. It's on the way. Headed for the bunker? Well, he'd like to have that one back in the bunker.
Still a chance to get it up and down.
So getting set for a greenside bunker shot. Frank, when I think of the great bunker players in the history of the sport, I think about Gary Player, Seve Ballesteros, who you knew so well. What did they do that made them so effective on these greenside bunker shots?
They had an attitude for a start that was different. For them, it was, they saw possibilities. And they would imagine the amount of sand. Remember, because this is the only shot in golf where you don't have to hit the ball first. So they would really choose the amount of sand behind the ball, whether that was an inch or two. Aimed the club at that and made sure they followed through.
Oh, he's gonna love it.
How far was that? That was miles away.
How about this second, a par 5?
Well, if you're brave, you try and flash it down that tree line down the left, but there's a couple of limbs that poke out. Every now and again, they catch an errant tee shot. Second shot.
Third shot coming up at this par 5. Still a good chance to make birdie.
Yeah, just make sure you have the right number and the right club.
Really good distance control there, playing well to his strengths. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Man,
Just pushed it.
boy, that hurts. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Even par early on. Now the par 3 third.
Not overly long, but 2 is a rarity here. Difficult green, and you don't see a lot of tee shots actually finish close here for some unknown reason. This looks like it's going to find the target.
Not terrible, but not his best.
Yeah, outside chance really for birdie, but really it was a rather poor approach shot.
Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
That was not a very good read right there. From about 8 feet. Still even par for the day. Frank, how important is positioning off the tee here?
Well, we saw a positional tee shot at 1 and 2. This is another one here at 4.
Just a good solid tee shot right there, about 280 yards. Frank, this approach shot here at the 4th is not a long one, but it could end up disastrous.
It can. You have to be very aware of where these mounds are on this green.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
That's well played. Places it about 10 feet out for birdie. You get the sense now with that birdie that our young star, so explosive, is setting himself up for a big weekend run. 5th hole here at TPC Sawgrass, long par 4. What's the challenge, Frank?
Depending, really, if you're long or short hitter. The long hitters have the luxury of taking it over the corner of the bunker down the right. Shorter hitters really play at that bunker down the left, 320 run out.
Good tee shot right in the short grass. Second from an excellent lie.
Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. And it looks like it's in the rough there, Frank.
It might not be as bad as it looks.
Frank, out of the rough, best to swing a little bit easier or get after it with all you have.
Well, a little bit in between. Obviously, it's going to require a little bit of strength to make sure that club keeps going through, but it's still the planning of the shot. Once again, check short. Is there anything I have to carry? And even remember, there's always the option of just simply pitching the ball down the fairway and taking your medicine.
Boy, that hurts right there, Frank.
Yeah, he's got to knuckle down now, though, because, we've seen it before, Rich. 2 putts turn into 3, 4. So make sure you can limit the damage here.
So with that, the score is now at even par. Don't forget, second round coverage coming your way tomorrow here on EA Sports for our entire crew. I'm Rich Lerner saying so long for now. EA Sports and the Web.com Tour proudly present second round coverage of the Web.com Tour Championship. Moving into the second round of the Web.com Tour Championship, the fourth and final stop of the Web.com Tour Finals. And Frank, you can feel the pressure building.
You certainly can, Rich, and I expect that we're going to see more of what we saw yesterday, which is some fearless golf. And these guys are playing for a PGA Tour card, and they're not backing down.
Hole number 4 here at TPC Sawgrass, 384-yard par 4 deep fairway bunker to the right of the landing zone. You want to avoid that. What else is there to look out for, Frank?
Those huge mounds on the left, they're just as penal really as the bunker on the right. So this is one where you have to pick an object in the distance. Really focus on that.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Moving a little to the right of the flagstick.
Our computer gives us 23 feet, Rich.
He really likes this hole. Made birdie yesterday. Can he do it again today?
Had every chance of going in.
This is a 9-footer. In for par. Fifth hole, good par 4, isn't it, Frank?
If ever a hole was built for Lee Trevino, who used to love to cut it, this would be the hole. It just looks and screams for a shot that's hit left to right. And that's the only way really to avoid bunkers left and long, and that one that's all the way down the right side.
Beautiful looking shot right here. Nice position, short grass, second shot. And this is looking really good. That's well played. Now a good look at birdie. Settles in over the putt. Wow, that was so close, Frank.
Just time to forget that one. I mean, couldn't hit that much better. Even par, currently.
Been a little too much of that, Frank, just sort of ho-hum pars. Frank, what do you think of the 6th? Pretty short par 4.
It is, but you come out of that sort of corridor and fairway opens up and then it narrows up, bunkers to be around. Very, very few people hit driver here.
Setting up for this next approach, our featured player starting to pick it up after that less than stellar start to the round.
But as we know, Rich, golf is such a streaky game. Perhaps now this player can catch fire and put together some good holes in a row.
Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. Chance for birdie after that beautiful shot. It's the beautiful part of golf. Brand new day, new hole. Remember, he made a bogey here yesterday. This time for birdie.
might go unnoticed, Rich, but that birdie just sneak inside the top 15.
Frank's 7th hole here at TPC Sawgrass. How do you break this one down?
Not overly long, 440 yards, but once again, it's a tee shot. If you're driving the ball well, that's fine. You just sort of blister it down there, but you're starting to lose one a little bit to the right. There's 3 pot bunkers there, and of course, if you're fearful of it going left, there's the canal all the way down the left side that'll get your attention.
Excellent drive, Frank, right where you want to be. Now the approach to the 7th. Frank, what do you need to be mindful of here?
It's rather narrow in the front of this green, and then there's some mounds both right and left. Be very aware of those mounds. They can actually help you out. Now, this is not heading in the right direction.
It looks like it's going to be in the rough.
That's an absolute beauty.
That is professional with a capital P right there.
That's stealing.
Here we are at the 8th at Pete Dye's famed stadium course at the TPC Sawgrass. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. Frank, this is a hole that I really like.
And players do too, Rich, especially off that back tee where it must be about 80 yards of shoot that you go through before the hole actually starts to open up. And this green, 11 bunkers in total around the whole putting surface.
Nice approach shot. He'll be happy with that. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt.
And that par certainly won't hurt the cause.
There's still some time. Frank, what do you make of the final hole here on the front side, the 583-yard par 5 ninth?
Just depends on how much you want to risk here. If you hit a good drive down the right side, it's certainly gettable for 2. But you can make an absolute mess here at 9.
Frank, one of our colleagues at Golf Channel, Brian Hammond's always liked to say, keep it in the short grass. It is nice to play from the fairway.
The game's so much easier from the fairway. Less decisions to be made. You don't have to worry about a flyer or the lip in front of the bunker or a tree. The game almost appears straightforward for me.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Well, that is a ball-striking clinic right there. Another dazzling approach shot. Pretty close. Now this for birdie. Came away with par in the previous round. Oh, good birdie right there, Frank.
Oh, time to get another cup of coffee. Things are heating up.
There you have it, Frank. The second round is complete. What are your thoughts?
I think anybody looking at this leaderboard, anybody in the top 10 of that leaderboard is certainly in a good position to win. Quality of the golf there in that first 10 is excellent.
EA Sports and the Web.com Tour proudly present third round coverage of the Web.com Tour Championship. We are into the third round of the Web.com Tour Championship, the fourth and final stop of the Web.com Tour Finals. 50 PGA Tour cards up for grabs, dreams about to be made.
It's amazing what's ahead of these young players, Rich. Not just getting through the next two rounds, but also trying to suppress perhaps what might be for them next year.
Frank getting set now for one of the more exciting back nines in all of golf right here at TPC Sawgrass.
And it starts at 10. It looks like a dogleg to the left, really, but you've got to play it as a straightaway tee shot. The run out just over 310 yards.
Just a good solid tee shot right there, about 280 yards. Second shot now at the 10th, and again, Frank, accuracy is at a premium.
Yeah, gone are the days to sort of thrash it out of the trees like Phil Mickelson. Ideally, coming out of that fairway, you're hitting to a green that moves to the right, so that makes it a little bit more difficult than what the mind's eye first sees.
Well done on the approach shot. Inside of 10 feet, he'll be very happy with that. Frankie's going for 2 birdies in a row.
If he can knock this one in, then that's certainly going to help the confidence.
Good birdie right there, moving to third place on the leaderboard. Let's go to the 11th. Now, it's a par 5 and a fun hole, Frank. You can make anything from 3 to 7 here.
And that's why, as the start of the back nine, especially on a Sunday, this becomes such a pivotal hole to start a run. Big body of sand down the left side that sometimes the longer hitters can get close to with the tee shot, but really it's the second shot. If you can reach this par 5 and 2, it's a very narrow green. The layup, well, it's actually an awkward layup, Rich, because you've got to push that ball to the left side, almost like a zigzag approach.
That's a good start to the hole, right down the middle. Now from a good position in the fairway, his second shot.
There's a bunker over there.
I think he's headed for it. Into the thick stuff, that's a difficult lie. Set to go, not an easy shot by any means. How about that shot? From that lie to get it that close, tremendous effort. Birdie putt coming up. Had a par on this hole yesterday. Moves into second place with that birdie. Up now, hole number 12. It's a short one, 358 yard, par 4.
This can catch you off guard. If you just try and hit the ball on the fairway, if you're on the middle of the fairway, the left side, you will have a blind second shot. So ideally, hit it down that right side of the fairway if you want to see the flag.
So the shot has landed. I'm not sure if it's on the mulch or in the mulch. Either way, it's in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, he doesn't have much of a shot you left.
So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. Let's see if he does it here.
Good looking shot right here. Well, that's how you play the game, right there. And this will be a 5-foot putt here. Grabs a share of the lead after making par. One of the great things about this golf course, Frank, a variety of par 3s, different yardages. Here at the 13th, 181-yard par 3.
Yeah, this is where you have to be careful on the tee there. Anything left's just going to be eaten up by that lake. Matter of fact, if you hit one with a little bit of a hook and it catches the mound, it can still kick into the lake. So this one here, just be a little cautious on the tee. Second shot.
That's a disappointment right there, Frank.
Yeah, green light special, really. Come up considerably short.
And so the approach shot finishes up some 25 feet from the hole.
Yeah, not his best, but certainly not his worst.
That had to really hurt, Frank, because it looked good all the way.
Well, this will test his mettle.
Well, you couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Once you hit double par, it is time to just pick up and move on. Count that as a triple bogey. Ouch. All right, Frank, this one gets everybody's attention. The 14th, 481 yards, par 4.
It's not just the length of this hole. Water down the left, mounds to the right. This is it. You got to buckle up here. Tee it up. This has to be your best swing.
Frank, challenging approach shot here at the 14th.
Yeah, there's some subtle mounds in this green. One that comes in on the right, and then another one that starts to come in about 2/3 of the way down on that left side.
Frank, I think that's going to the bunker.
Looks like it.
And it looks like it's in the rough there, Frank.
It might not be as bad as it looks.
And setting up here in the rough. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Solid par. Day 3, and what a tournament this is shaping up to be, Frank.
Quite simply, great weather, great golf, great fans, which is the perfect mix for a golfer trying to win a tournament. The final round, if this is anything to go by, has to just be sensational.
EA Sports and the Web.com Tour proudly present final round coverage of the Web.com Tour Championship. Appears to be what they call a commercial play, very solid. On the green, and a chance for birdie.
Even par, currently.
This one has a chance, and he has it. Beautiful putt. Frank, the 14th hole. A lot has happened here over the years.
I think it's the litmus test on the back nine. That's where things really start to heat up. It looks like a straightforward tee shot, but often the eyes wander to that water down the left side. And of course, if you think about that, you invariably fire the ball towards the right, where those hillocks and thick rough is, and virtually no chance of reaching the par 4 and 2.
Nice position, short grass, second shot. That one is in the bunker. Looking to splash this softly onto the green. Frank, that reminds you of maybe what, the greatest bunker player of all time? Not a gimme, but well within his range. So close. Well, you just can't make up ground if you don't make putts. Drop shot here at the 14th hole. Settles in over the putt. Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Trying to put this hole behind him quickly. Double bogey putt. Frank, this is where you want to step away from the controller for just a second.
Yeah, good. Mr. Good just met Mr. Bad.
Now to the 15th, and Frank, I know this is a hole that you really like.
Yeah, it gets no respect in my book, which I think is a shame. Just a nice dogleg to the right. And really 2 good shots and a 3 here, which is actually a rarity. It sets you up for those closing 3 holes. Too often people just take 15 lightly. And 15 has just a gentle nibble that turns into a bite.
Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
That's still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par.
And he's made the green. Well, Frank, you hear it so often. This is a game of dealing with your miscues.
That's the beauty of this game of golf. You give it, and it taketh away.
And he makes it for a bogey here. Frank, you're 1 behind. Sunday afternoon, you're trying to win one of the game's great championships. Is this a spot that you love as a competitor, the 16th hole of par 5, with a chance to make a lot of noise?
It's a spot you cannot hide from, Rich, because you know exactly there. If you haven't looked at a scoreboard, you can feel it from the atmosphere.
That's in the fairway. And now the second shot here at this par 5. He's set up for his 3rd shot here, looking to get it on the green with this. Beautiful shot. That is tight.
Unbelievable. That is one to savor for the rest of the round.
Made a par in his previous round. This time, it's for birdie. Good birdie, and now at 1 under for the tournament. Frank, you think about heartache here at 17 through the years. What comes to mind?
Obviously, Sean O'Hare is the first memory. I remember Len Matisse messing the hole up. Sergio Garcia just a couple of years ago when he was trying to make 2. And you're punished so severely at 17 for a miss, but you're rewarded too for bravery. And it's that fine line between being a hero and a fool. And it comes down to 137 yards.
Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
Jeez, that one just blew past the hole. It's actually on the fringe right now. Locked in on the read and the speed. And he has it.
A good putt redeems all.
Now to the 18th hole here at TPC Sawgrass, 462-yard par 4, Frank, and another example of visual intimidation from the designer, Pete Dye.
Those wooden bulkheads that go all the way down the left side of 18 give you like an optical illusion, Rich. And there's not a single fairway bunker on the right to give you something specifically to aim at. So you've got to fixate on one of those trees. This is not a hole where you want to be looking at anything other than a specific target.
Not looking good, Frank.
I think it's wet.
Into the tall cabbage. That ball is swallowed up.
Remember, out of the rough. Expect the ball to jump forward a little bit.
How good was that, Frank, from the rough?
Oh, that's amazing. That's a masterclass in short game.
Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. And he makes it for par. Frank, we did see some good golf out there today, but others really struggled.
Yeah, any competitive player wants to win. We don't doubt that, but we know you're not going to win them all. So it's still important for every golfer to continue to gain experience, to actually get something out of each and every tournament they play in.
EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live opening round coverage of the BioWare Classic. Well, here we are at the Wetlands Golf and Country Club. We're located along the St. Johns River in the Sunshine State, Florida. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports. Frank, what stands out when you look at the wetlands?
The swampland, the gators, really it's a good driving golf course, Rich. Not a lot of fairway bunkers in play here at Wetlands, but if you drive the ball well here, you really can get a good score out here at Wetlands. They play the web.com here every now and again, so we've seen some good scores over the years, but always fun to be playing in Florida. Sun on your back, warm golf conditions.
And now we go down to the first hole. Frank, you've been there so many times. Really nothing like the first tee of a brand new championship.
The thought of the unknown, the beauty of sport, you and the golf course. Doesn't get any better, Rich.
That one is in the fairway, down there about 290 yards. Looks like he's going to have a go at it here at the par 5, his second shot. Third shot, looking for a good one. It should be pretty good right there, on the safe side. Well, that is an exceptional shot on the green and in position for a birdie.
Yeah, it's a formality now.
So into the top 15 on the leaderboard with that birdie. A few more, and who knows, maybe top 10 or top 5. Strong par 5 to start, followed by a good par 3. The second hole is 225 yards.
2 bunkers, Rich, when you look at this par 3. In between is a nice corridor, and that's really the line that you want to be looking at going at this par 3. Just thread the gap, and you should safely find the green.
Wayward from the tee. And this one is headed for the rough, Frank. Second shot coming out of the rough here. Oh, with Without a doubt, that will be on the highlight reel later tonight. Excellent shot. We're at the third hole now at the Wetlands. It's a par 4, 460 yards. Frank, you watched the Web.com Tour event down here, and what'd you see when the young bombers came to this hole?
Oh, this is a hole they just love, Rich. You know, it's flat, it's long, and it's straight, so they just tee it up, aim it straight at the green, hit it as hard as they can. And some of these guys were just going in with an 8 or a 9 iron. It's quite amazing. And, of course, when you go with an 8 or a 9 iron into this hole, you look at 3 more often than not.
In the bunker, still with a chance for an up and down. Getting ready now for this next shot in the bunker. And great execution. Right out of the bunker and right next to the hole. And getting ready for the putt. With authority, count it. As a par and 2 under. And now let's go down to the action at the 4th. As we catch up with today's featured golfer, we have already seen some excellent play. Frank, what are some of the keys to keeping this early momentum?
Basically just trying to do the same things. We're seeing good driving, good approach play, and very good speed on the green right now. Keep doing the same thing.
Frank had hit the green, but just didn't have enough backspin.
You wonder what he's thinking on that.
These are the kind of putts that keep a round going about 10 feet away for par. Shouldn't be a problem here. He'll take par and move on. Good look now at the 5th hole here at the Wetlands. Par 5, and it's a good one. 635 yards. Excellent looking shot here. Good lie in the fairway. A good chance to make something happen here. He'll need to be strong with this.
Good recovery shot. Couldn't make the green, but at least he's back in play.
Played the smart shot right there. Now his 4th shot. Another good swing, and it looks like, Frank, another really good shot. Frank, how did he do there?
I would say more than the average. Get it inside 20 feet from that distance. That was cruel. That looked like it was certainly going in.
That's costly right there.
Painful.
This for him would be 1 drop shot. Now at 1 under for the round. Par 4 6th here at the Wetlands, 440 yards and water to deal with.
2 choices here, Rich. Lay it up, short of the Wetlands, or, well, chance it, brave enough, tee it up and flash it across the Wetlands. But just a mere short iron into this lengthy par 4.
Frank, it makes the game easy when you play it from the fairway.
Especially when you play it from a lie like that.
Stumbled out of the gates, but now on solid footing, getting ready for this approach shot. Chance to get it close here. Frank, just a beautiful day out there today, but there are some challenges.
Yeah, those tricky winds up there, you've really got to focus on exactly how strong it is and what direction, because it's very easy to make the mistake of hitting the wrong club out here. You make a mistake with the wrong club choice, even a good swing is not going to get rewarded.
Good stroke right there. That's a par and stays at 1 under. Frank, that was a great day of golf. My only question now is, how are we getting back? How are we getting home from here?
Oh, Rich, there's only one way. That's the airboat. We're in Florida.
Rev it up. What a super day of golf we saw here at the Wetlands Golf and Country Club along the St. Johns River. For Frank Nobilo, I'm Rich Lerner, saying so long from all of us at EA Sports. EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live second-round coverage of the BioWare Classic. Here at the par 5 7th at the Wetlands Golf and Country Club, 592 yards.
Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. That one is just a little offline, and that will not end up in the fairway. Second shot from the rough. It's on the way. So missed the fairway, and now he's back where he needs to be.
Yeah, minimize the problems.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
And to generate some momentum here at the 7th hole, this for birdie. Made par yesterday, this one for birdie. Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage, and you're not going to birdie every hole.
Frank, this is always exciting in the game of golf. McIlroy on the move.
And this victory is going to have to be earned. If you want to stay in front of Rory McIlroy, it's going to take some great golf.
Second shot, good look at the green. Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man. Well, not in contention, but in for par. The 9th hole, Frank, is a muscular par 5, 621 yards.
You see why length is a huge advantage of this golf course, just under 7,700 yards. This hole here, another example, good tee shot, perhaps think of going for the par 5 and 2, but a great collection of 3 bunkers that sort of annoy you with your layup there. Got to make sure you avoid all of those to leave yourself a nice little wedge shot in here if you can't reach it in 2.
Third shot, about 100 yards out. Good swing, good shot yet again. That will be a great look at birdie. These putts keep the round together. And who knows? It is a 4-round tournament, setting himself up for a good weekend, maybe a great one. The young star makes his birdie. We're also seeing more long putters in the game.
Yeah, there's a choice. If you don't feel comfortable with a normal grip and you've got a few nerve issues, then you can, well, use a longer version, jam it in your chest, have a different foot.
Frank, you've just hit one in the water. You don't want to compound the mistake. What's the mindset here?
This one right here, you've got to forget that big blue oasis in front of you.
So hit the previous shot in the water, took a drop. This now the third shot. Frank, this is where a round can get away. You've just knocked it OB.
Yeah, that shot's never going to come back now, so he doesn't want to compile the error.
So now he's playing his third shot, Frank, after hitting it OB.
Yeah, good tee shot, though. So see if he can string a couple of good shots together now.
Good news is, Frank, you can see the golf ball. I guess the bad news is that's kind of an uncertain lie in that mulch.
Yeah, there's nothing really good about that. You'd rather it be in the rough.
Not quite where he was aiming, but still enough room to get it up and down.
It's no snack, though.
Well, double par here. Time to pick up and move on. Par 4 11th hole, 443 yards. Frank, what's the best way to play it?
Nice straight drive off the tee, then really reduces this par 4 to size. And then those bunkers, short and left, don't really cause an issue. The green's a little tiny, though, but even if you miss that green a little bit on the right side, it's a relatively simple chip.
We are about 170 yards from the hole.
Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
Par yesterday, now for birdie. Frank, we haven't seen a whole lot of that, but no doubt it feels good. Stepping up to the tee at the first par 5 on this back nine. It's the 12th, and it is 576 yards.
Yeah, this hole bends to the right, opposite direction to what 11 does. A good tee shot, and you can actually think about reaching this par 5 and 2, but anything around the front or front left, still going to leave a relatively simple pitch shot. So when you stand on that tee, think of birdie at least here.
Looks like he's going to have a go at it here at the par 5, his second shot. Slight waggle, relaxed arms, ready to go. Good strike right there, right off the center of the face and about 20 feet away. Frank going for 2 in a row now. Made a good run at birdie. He'll have to focus now, try to walk away with the par. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. And he makes it for par. Don't forget third round coverage coming your way tomorrow on EA Sports. For Frank Nobilo, I'm Rich Lerner, saying so long for now. EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live third-round coverage of the BioWare Classic. Par 411, Frank, we're looking at 443 yards.
Yeah, the Wetlands Golf Course is a really good driving course. This is another example here, Rich, where the fairway's just wide enough to reward a good tee shot, and then those two bunkers don't really come into play. But Wetlands becomes very difficult when you just start to stray a little bit off the fairway. Then you start to see why those bunkers are put there. Second shot. Now, this is not heading in the right direction.
No, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are, because, you know, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
Put a birdie on the card here yesterday, don't forget. Not a gimme, but well within his range.
Well, good solid stroke there, no sign of nerves on that.
So on this back nine, we started with a par 3, then a par 4, and now we get to a par 5. The 12th is 576 yards.
Yeah, nice blend of holes there that you've just referenced. 11 bends to the left, consequently 12 will bend in the other direction. Good drive required. From there, just setting up perhaps, 7 iron, 6 iron into a green that's sort of fairly uniform in shape and should present a birdie with a good second shot.
Setting up for an approach shot here. Frank, can you recall a situation where before an important round, an instructor gave you one small tweak, maybe flare your left toe out, or just shift a little bit of the weight onto the back foot, where the instructor gave you that one small bit of advice and it made a huge difference?
Yeah, the list is too long, Rich, and it's normally just someone that you've trusted over the years, and we all make just little bad habits. Sometimes you're stooped over a little bit more than normal. You're not standing tall enough. The ball is too far back in your stance or too far forward. You're making a funny little move, or your grip is different. It's always the little things that add up to the big problem.
They'll pay a little bit of a price for missing the fairway here, because from that rough, you cannot control the spin on the golf ball. Ball sitting down here in the rough, he's digging in. Not terrible, but not his best.
Yeah, outside chance, really, for birdie, but really, it was a rather poor approach shot.
So a long putt there and just didn't read it quite right. Getting set now over the putt. in for par. Moving on to the tricky 14th here at the Wetlands. It's 204 yards, but there is plenty of trouble out there. Stuffed it in there really close, and now just a tap in. Made a par in his previous round. This time, it's for birdie. So they get it to 2 under with that birdie. Well, that about wraps it up for us here today. I'd like to thank my partner, Frank Nobilo. Really enjoyed it, Frank.
Yeah, it's been a good day out here. Once again, we've seen the golf course give more than it takes.
For Frank Nobilo, I'm Rich Lerner saying so long for now. EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live final round coverage of the BioWare Classic. Frank, not the longest hitter, but sometimes you win tournaments by putting it in a good spot, and that's where we are right here, 280 yards out.
Yeah, 280 down the middle of the fairway. That'll never get you in trouble.
Well, this one should be safely on deck here. Terrific golf shot, and now that for an easy birdie.
Even par currently.
He's made it. Here we go at the par 4 13th, 452 yards. What's the best angle of attack?
The straight line really is the best way here, like a lot of holes on the golf course, but straight, as we know, is not often easy. Fairway does start to widen up the further out there you get it, so for the longer hitters, this hole actually plays relatively easy. For the shorter hitters in that narrow area, that'll leave you a lengthy second shot where you just might have to bisect the 2 front greenside bunkers.
Perfect roll right there.
Anything other than a rookie. Great stroke.
Final par 5 on the backside here at the Wetlands. It's 590 yards.
Which is really a tempting yardage. A good tee shot, perhaps think of reaching the par 5 and 2. But this green well protected by 3 bunkers, 2 on the left side and 1 short right. But hey, fortune favors the brave. At least that's what I was told.
That one is in the fairway, down there about 290 yards. Playing his second shot here at the par 5. Paying attention like a little kid at school, Frank. That baby's sitting up.
Sitting up. It's got the best view as well. You don't even need binoculars from where that ball is.
Really in control of this hole. Birdie yesterday and another opportunity on the way. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. That had to really hurt, Frank, because it looked good all the way.
Well, this will test his mettle.
Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Moves up into the top 25 with that par. 16th hole at the Wetlands is a par 4, 455 yards.
Once again, another reward for a straight tee shot, but this green heavily guarded by sand. So, good tee shot. This one, you're going to have to hit one of the better iron shots required at Wetlands.
Frank, it makes the game easy when you play it from the fairway.
Especially when you play it from a lie like that.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Great effort right there, and a great chance to knock in that short putt. He has a 12-footer here. Well, there's an opportunity wasted.
Just knocking him for a par, and let's forget about this one. And golf is not about perfect, but it is going to hurt the course.
Never a bad score on the card. That's par. Here we go at the 17th. It's a par 3, and it takes one good strike. That's what you like about par 3s of this length, Frank. 238 yards. Can't fake it here.
You certainly can't, and that green just shapes a little bit to the player's right. So the best shot to hit in here would be a little draw. And that is also the avenue provided by those two bunkers. One short left and the other one back right.
And it is not looking like a good lie. Second shot coming out of the rough here. Get down. Lay down.
Well, just a little too much, Rich.
I don't know if it was wind at his back. He didn't calculate it, but he's going to be left with a difficult chip shot here. How good was that, Frank, from the rough?
Right, that's amazing. That's a masterclass in short game.
Trying to get out of here without too many bumps and bruises. This one is for bogey. Simple, solid, and he'll take it.
But one that you need to make.
Well, this is it, Frank, the 18th hole, and on paper it looks like you can get this one. You can make a birdie because it's only 377 yards.
You're exactly right, Rich. Just a nice drive. Doesn't even have to be a driver here. It's going to set you up really short iron wedge into this short par 4. And well, I always like to finish on a birdie. I know you do too, because a little walk to the clubhouse there on the left, maybe a hot dog or a hamburger.
With these downhill shots, really the key is always balance, and maybe you want to take a little bit of a wider setup, and then club selection obviously is important. You maybe take a little less club and just try not to overswing. He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. Oh, I thought he had that. Speed wasn't bad on that long putt, but the read wasn't very good. Frank, that's a par, and onward we go. Frank, it was a great setting with great crowds. We saw plenty of very good golf. Your thoughts?
I think the course really extracted some of the golf that we saw. It forced these players to play just some great golf, and it wasn't just like a pitch and a putt golf course. So I think seeing the guys tested, seeing the players tested at this level, it was a treat.